Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am a novice at this. So this is like my second one I've ever recorded, so I'm sure I will make some mistakes along the way, so be kind to me, be patient. I apologize for any audio and visual difficulties that I may run into. So why am I recording this? So I'm the proud owner of a 2021 Ford Bronco, and there's a lot of videos out there, and I thought I might as well go ahead and add to the pile, give you guys my own redneck review of my version of what I think about it. I tell you right now, I have owned 3 Jeeps in my lifetime, so I absolutely love the Jeeps. I love what you can do to Jeeps. But what this Ford Bronco is my Jeep, but comfortable. Having owned 3 Jeeps, I think I know pretty well about the ride quality of these things, especially once you fix them up. And these things are like riding a box on the interstate. And whether you're an off-roader or not, if this is your primary vehicle, the most of the time that you spend riding is going to be on the highway, and you want it to be as comfortable of a ride as possible. So this Bronco is my Jeep. The doors can come off, the tops can come off, all the things that I loved about doing with the Jeep, I can do with this Bronco, and I've absolutely loved it so far. I started looking about in August for a Bronco, and there were none to be found anywhere. And so I was calling basically all over the United States. I was willing to drive pretty far to go get one. And I came across one at AutoNation in St. Petersburg, Florida. And what had happened is the guy that had ordered this decided he wanted a 2-door version instead of a 4-door version, so he backed off the deal, but the order was still out there. I happened to catch the sales guy that knew about it, and he said, hey, you can take over this Bronco if you want. That was in August, and then I picked up the Bronco on December the 9th. Again, the dealer is AutoNation, and I can tell you right now, I will never buy another vehicle from AutoNation out of St. Petersburg again. If I didn't desperately want this Bronco, I would have never gone to them in the first place. They were charging over MSRP. So they are one of those dealers that are charging over MSRP. There are other dealers that are not, but I wanted it so bad that I thought I could live with it. So I went there, and they knew that I was turning in a car that I was going to trade. It was a lease. I had a 2021 Mazda CX-5 Turbo. 3,000 miles on it. It was still a brand new car, and they knew it was a lease. And I went in there, we did all the paperwork, and then I go in to the guy that you sign all the paperwork with, and they go, oh, wait a minute, that was a lease? I'm sorry, these numbers are wrong. They were giving me an $1,800 credit for that. It was like a tax credit. Well, come to find out, you don't get that tax credit for a leased vehicle. So they said, I'm sorry. And I said, okay, well then let's just, you and I have already agreed to this, why don't we just deduct that from the amount that you're charging me over the MSRP? And he went and got his finance manager, and the finance manager came in there, some young guy who I would never want to do any kind of work with ever again. The guy was cocky. He was not going to make any concessions whatsoever. He wanted to play both ends of the stick. Because we all know that right now, used cars are at a premium right now. Well, because there wasn't a comp vehicle around within a 500-mile radius, he couldn't give me any kind of a extra price, higher for my brand new, leased vehicle that I was turning in. Yet he wanted to charge me premium for the Bronco, and he wasn't willing to budge from that. And in fact, I got the distinct impression that they would have rather I left, had not taken the deal and left. That way, they could have charged even more over MSRP. He literally told me they were being authorized to charge. At that time, it was 10 grand over MSRP. Well, that is not the amount that we'd agreed to back in August, but with the supply and demand going up some more, they were able to charge even more. So yes, they are one of those sleazebag dealers that will charge you over MSRP. So I would recommend you not go to them to go buy a Bronco or any other vehicle for that matter, because they were not willing to budge with me. He gave me a 2-year maintenance plan is what his concession was, which doesn't come to much. And even then, it felt like he acted like he was doing me a favor by doing that. So again, it's AutoNation out of St. Petersburg, Florida. I would never recommend you go buy a vehicle from them. Anyway, I had to get that out there. So outside of that, as far as the vehicle itself is concerned, I'm really, really happy with the vehicle. I bought it's a 2021 Ford Bronco Outer Banks edition. It is the Area 51 in color. It is the 2.7, and it had the Lux package on it. So it's pretty much the top of the line for the Outer Banks. Outer Banks does not have that disconnect stay bar, unfortunately. I wish it did, but outside I'm pretty happy with it. So with that being said, let's take a look at my Bronco. I'll show you what I've done, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about what I've done, and then let me know what you think. So here we go. Okay, so let's just go ahead and talk about some of the specific things that I've done. So the lift is a rough country 3.5-inch lift. This is not their coilover. They have several different lift packages. I think they have a 1-inch, they have a 2-inch level kits. Then they have a 3.5-inch. I think they actually call this a suspension lift. It doesn't. You don't get any different springs or shocks or anything like that, but you do get, you know, the I guess spacers, for lack of a better word, and you get a replacement upper control arm. This is from Rough Country. So the tires and wheels, these are 35, 12.5 R20s, Nitto Ridge grapplers, and that is a fuel 20 by 10 with a negative 24 offset. There's no rubbing, there is no trimming. Now, granted, it is close, and I'm talking about a full lock. There was no rubbing or trimming. They did remove the crash bars. As you can see, the front crash bar is gone, the rear crash bar is gone. But again, at full lock, there's no rubbing or trimming. Now, I haven't gone like full articulation on this thing, so you know, whether or not something may grab there or not, I'm not sure. But as far as my normal driving, you know, there's no rubbing, and I'm really happy with that. The Outer Banks comes with the sidebar. I've got the roasted leather interior. Got the 12-inch screen. I've got the auxiliary switches. The rear, got the upgraded carpet mats, well, upgraded rubber mats rather. There's the rear tire, full-size spare. I've got the tire relocate from Rough Country right there. I've got the hitch. I've got the security drawer, which you get from Ford Accessories. This thing's pretty nice. It does lock. Has these different drawers inside of it, so you can store your valuables and lock it up. And then you still have the mounts for anything you might want to latch down. Now I went ahead and now the top is down right now, and I have this off just to show you guys. So there's 3 bolts right inside there. You have to take off those 3, and then over here on the same side you have to take those 3 off, and then you can actually remove the top. But let me tell you, this thing is heavy. Do not ever try to do that thing by yourself, because you will most likely end up damaging your Bronco and the paint job on it. It is hard to get off by yourself, and you definitely need somebody to put it back on. So continuing on, I've got the Fender Deletes as well from 4 Wheel Parts. I really love these things. It gives it a very aggressive look, which I love. And there you go. So on the lights, I have the, try to see it under there, maybe right there. Those are the rock lights. I've got those on all 4 fender wells. They are blue. The rigid pillar lights, these are the square ones. These do have the blue backlight, and that is the 40-inch rigid curved light bar that also has the blue backlight. And let me tell you something, guys. That thing is really, really bright, and this thing looks fabulous at night if I light all these things up in the blue. But I do have to tell you about the light bar. So when I was driving home from the dealer after the light bar had been installed, I thought they had done something wrong electrically with my vehicle, because it was making this horrendous noise, and I thought it was coming through my speakers. And then I thought maybe it might be this hood scoop, right? Because I had this hood scoop installed, and these little openings right in here on both sides. And I thought, well, I wonder if air is coming through that. And so I taped those up and drove it again. Noise still continued. So I called the dealer thinking maybe they hadn't grounded something. And he's like, you know what? I bet you it's your light bar. And so I did some research on it, and turns out it is a known problem. And I cannot believe that Rigid has not come up with a solution to fix this thing. So I did some research, saw different options. Some people had put like a clear plexiglass covering over it, which, while it sounds like it may have cleared up the problem, it looks absolutely terrible. Some other guys had gotten like some rubber trim, like the kind that you would have on the ends of your doors, and they put it like on X number of those fins. And when I say fins, so there's these heat fins on the back of the light bar, because the light bar is so powerful and it generates so much heat that it dissipates the heat across those fins. So that second solution, he had taken like pieces of rubber trim and put it on like 10 rows on one end and 10 rows on the other end. And apparently that took care of it. But then I found another video, which I thought was at least an easier one for me to try. And it was money. And what it was is, you take, if you ever go in like a commercial building, the baseboard, there's these in a house there'll be like wood baseboards that's nice and trim piece, and they're a rubber commercial piece in most commercial buildings. And so I went and bought 2 48-inch pieces from Lowe's, and then I stuck the flat in, because they're flat and then they're curved up at the end, and that curve at the end is what would go up over the top of like a piece of wood, to make it look nice. So I stuck the flat end inside one of those fins, and to see how far it would go inside the fin, and then I cut it that distance from the curved piece, and I put it in the top row. I put it in the second row of the top of the bar, and it was still whistling. And then I put it in the third row from the bottom, and let me tell you something, the whistling went away completely. That guy's solution was money, and it looks good. I can't even, if you don't even know what you're looking for, you're not even going to see it. I mean, other people had solutions of like putting a cloth cover on there, so you're not listening to it while you're riding down the road. Well, I didn't like that either, because what if I wanted to turn my backlights on, and my pod lights on the mirrors are on the same switch as the main light? So that means I would never be able to turn it on without having to go out and remove the cover. So I would show you that piece right now, but it's starting to rain. So in fact, I need to go close the back of the Bronco, and I need to go put it in the garage. So, but real quick, since I'm already out here and getting wet, here's the back of the light bar, and here is the piece that I did all the way to the end, and then down here on the bottom, all the way down on the end. And then all this is all the regular fins that comes as part of the light bar. So let me tell you something, guys, that was money. Worked perfectly, no whistling whatsoever, cost me $10. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave any comments if you would like to see anything else. I do have future plans for this thing, so I'm going to be doing some more stuff, so I might provide an update later. But guys, I absolutely love this thing. And then the one thing I failed to mention, the bimini top. I have that mesh bimini top on there, and what I love about that bimini top is you can leave it on when you put your normal top back up. All you have to do is release a couple of straps in the front where the main top normally goes, and you can leave that right in place. Easy day. I love that thing. But anyway, sorry about that. That's all I got for now. If you guys I'll try to do some stuff in the future. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like it. Leave any comments. You guys have a good one. I'm out.